mute your microphone, please. And I think that Germany just joined me. Can you mute your microphone? Thanks. Hong Kong has joined us. Everyone, thanks for joining in. We're just waiting for Turkey, Egypt, Singapore on the call, and Thailand. Egypt has just joined. Thank you. Bianca, did you receive any request for teams to be presented by India?
No, zero.
Right, we'll give another 2 minutes, then we will start. Yeah? The others join in, we will take note. If they don't, then we will contact them and so on. Okay, I think we start. Thailand is still not on the call. You can mute her, yeah?
Can call in the confidence in this.
Yes. I'm going to say. Hi, morning everyone. I'm going to mute all participants first. Then we will do some housekeeping, and then I'll pass the floor to the host, BWF and referee team to continue with the meeting. So one, thank you, good morning. Welcome to the team managers meeting, Yonex Thailand Open, part of the HSBC BWF World Tour. If you're not talking, kindly mute your microphones. There'll be a session for Q&A. You can then ask your questions to the referees during that period. We will, so far, only Taipei, Chinese Taipei and Hong Kong have asked for an interpreter to join. Those who are not, those who have not requested to join, the admin of the meeting will drop them from this meeting. Yo, thank you for your very energetic good morning, but it's mute. Do we have a representative from Turkey now?
Yes.
Thank you. Australia? Not yet. Red Sea, Thailand? Anybody from Thailand? Okay. So, thank you very much again. And then I hand over to the BWF Event Director, Darren Fox, to start.
Hi everyone, welcome to the team managers meeting for the Yonex Thailand Open, part of the HSBC BWF World Tour, here in the Impact Arena, Bangkok. This is the first team managers meeting we've ever done using Zoom. Hope it would be great if it was the last, but I guess it might not be. We'd like to thank the Badminton Association of Thailand and the Government of Thailand and Madam Kun Ying for their hard work and efforts to make the tournaments possible. It's for the good of the sport, and in these difficult times of the pandemic, it's great to have the international sport of badminton back. So, I'd like to ask Madam Kun Ying, President of Badminton Association of Thailand, to say a few words of welcome on the hosts.
Say it again, ask me.
Madam Kun Ying, if you would like to say some words of welcome.
Unmute. Maybe someone unmute for her.
Madam Kun Ying, you're on mute. You've got to unmute your audio.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Sorry. A very good morning to you all. The first tournament, Yonex Thailand Open, is about to begin in the next few days. I am quite certain that all of us share the feeling of excitement. This afternoon at 2 p.m., His Excellency Mr. Minister of Tourism and Sports will visit us here at Impact Thailand to give us his full support and encouragement. We cannot mention about the world. There is no exception. We will also follow up with all involved Thai agencies on the preparations of the Grand Prix tournament to ensure the best of you, the best for you and your team. Today we are all performing novel tasks that have never been done before. In this connection, we need unity and solidarity to make this tournament happen. Let's make history together for the glorious return of our sport of badminton. Thank you very much. สวัสดีค่ะ Give the floor to the rest.
Thank you very much, Madam Kun Ying. Hopefully we'll solve that. I'd like to introduce the referees team. It's Ivanka Poconi from Croatia, who's the referee for the Yonex Thailand Open, and deputy referee Nikos Vladimiro of Cyprus and Chris Lawrence of the USA. I'd like to introduce the referees, Ivanka Poconi of Croatia and Nikos Vladimiro of Cyprus. Okay, we on? The other deputy referee is Chris Lawrence of the USA. Just unmute this. Okay, we have two computers here, and we have to juggle a little bit between the two. So that's the reason why we sometimes get feedback, and that's why we dropped out just then. Okay, so I think I introduced the referees previously, but I'll go one more time just to make sure. The referee for Yonex Thailand Open is Ivanka Poconi of Croatia, Nikos Vladimiro of Cyprus, and Chris Lawrence of the USA are deputy referees. Also here is the BWF doctor, AJ Shumsha JB Rada, and we have from the BWF team Selvam Subramaniam, Kobar Chen, Sevilla Horvath, and Rubian Roslan. So now I'd like to introduce Ivanka to take you through the presentation, and I'll hand over to her. And she has to come and sit in this seat.
Hello everyone. I would like to welcome you to the tournament on behalf of the race team. As Ms. Parks already presented the team, there is also one additional member of the team, local deputy referee, Mrs. Mahathai. Sontachi from Thailand. She will support us, but out of our If we talk about medical team, then official hospital is 15 minutes by car from our home and hotel. Dr. Rana is already introduced, and he will be assisted also by medical staff and physio organized by the host. If your players would like to have a consultation or treatment, then it should be done per scheduled booking. In case of any emergency, please contact hotel reception in case that it is in a hotel, or general emergency call number for Thailand is 1169. On this slide, you can see the contact of the organizer. As this tournament is run according to the COVID-19 protocol measures, then there is no classical secretariat or tournament office. Therefore, in case of any requests, please contact this email address electronically. You already received your accreditations. You are aware that accreditation is a must to be able to enter the hall. In the same way, it is necessary to have accreditation if you want to use transport. Daily communication will be done in an electronic way. Will be done electronic way, and we already established mailing list of all team managers, and in case of any information which should be shared, it will be sent by email to team managers. Also, I would like to remind you to confirm your departure details with the secretariat using this email address. In general, you were already informed at the COVID-19 briefing, which was held a few days ago, that the whole tournament should be run according to defined measures in the protocol. It means that we can move only in a green zone. We are not allowed to go out of our bubble. There is a green entrance which will be used for the tournament, and in fact the bus will stop over there. You are kindly asked not to stay in the venue after your match. Therefore, we will come to that later, that no players' lounge and no changing rooms for the players to encourage you to leave the venue after your match and not to violate prescribed measures. As you know, we have two warm-up courts. The maximum players which is allowed to be at the same time on court is 6. Media duties are still mandatory, and it will be media duties are organized in a way to comply with prescribed measures in the protocol. Anti-doping will still be taking place. You are aware that according to the protocol, there are 9 tests to be done during our stay here, but in case of any need, PWF can request any person to be tested at any time. We had practice for the last few days. It is a bit more complicated that we are used to because of dedicated transport as one thing, and the second thing, which is a bit limiting, is cleaning time between the time slots, which in general decrease our effective practice time on practice courts. We have 6 courts in hall 5, which is adjacent to a competition hall. For a booking procedure, I think that you are already aware of it. We said that as this tournament is specific, it means that the players which are out of Yonex Thailand Open are still here waiting for the start of Yonex Thailand Open, and they still need their time to practice. So we said that your practice requests we accept for the whole duration of the tournament from 12 to 17. Some of the teams already submitted their requests, but not all of them. If you want to submit your request for practice, please you can do it today. there are three free shuttles for practice per player. You are also aware that today and tomorrow the practice in main hall is organized. According to PWF regulation, the practice should be enabled also for the active players in the tournament during the tournament. So originally the sessions were planned in early morning from Tuesday to Thursday, and because we start at 9, the sessions were planned from 7 to 8, and also the days when we start at 11 from Friday for Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, due to a request of the health agency, we had to cancel practice on main courts for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which leaves us only with the 2 days of practice on main courts. It is Friday and Saturday. So there is not much we can do regarding that. We have to live with this timing, and we will distribute it on equity basis for active players for Friday and Saturday to get a fair and equal right to practice on main courts. Regarding fitness, you are aware that using a fitness facility in a hotel is not permitted. We have 3 fitness rooms in a practice hall, and we do our best to share it to your teams. Regarding stringing, it is officially provided by Yonex and Victor. Their facility is next to a practice court. I am sure that you carefully read the college protocol, so dropping off and picking up of rackets for stringing is defined into details in college protocol, and there are designated tables where it can be done. The price for non-Yonex players for Yonex stringing is $25 and same for non-Victor players for Victor stringing, and of course for Yonex and Victor players it is free of charge. Regarding the seating area of the teams in the competition hall, unfortunately there are no designated spots for teams in stands, because the teams are advised to leave the hall after their match and go back to a hotel. There is a designated location for team cameras. So on a match control side, you can see these previews marked LL, KK, and JJ. On the top rows from row H and above, you can put your camera. In order to minimize movement in the field of play, only one coach may put the camera in a position, and after recording can return, can take the camera and return to coach's sitting area. We already said that changing rooms for players are allowed only for changing clothing, and these changing rooms are on the third floor. These changing rooms are still part of a green zone, but please instruct the players not to use the shower in the changing rooms, but to go back to a hotel room. We said that there is no dedicated spots, nor for players, nor for coaches in stands, but there is a coach's sitting area. It is below the tribune on the opposite side of the match control. It is marked yellow. There will be a seat for coaches while on duty during the competition. Free Wi-Fi, water, but unfortunately we are not allowed to provide snacks. And of course there will be one screen with streaming from forecast. This week you use a transport, and the transport was dedicated to things. Once when we start with the competition, the transportation schedule will become much more complicated than this week while we were practicing. Therefore, please book a transport via your team's liaison officer. Walking from a hotel to venue is not permitted. And we already said that accreditation is a must to get to the transport. We kindly advise you to leave the hotel a bit earlier than you originally planned, just to prevent potential delays in a transport. We believe that everything will be according to plan, but just for the beginning of the tournament to make sure for you to be ready for your match, take a bit of contingency time to get to the court. We play in accordance with BWF regulation, especially BWF World Tour regulation, which is specific for this tournament, and with COVID-19 local and BWF regulations. There is one new regulation we would like to draw your attention, and this regulation regulates breaches of COVID-19 safety protocol. It is section 259, special table of offenses and penalties related to breaches of COVID-19 safety protocol. In this table, different kinds of breaches are defined, so as penalties which are applicable in case of breaches. Just to go briefly to key days for the tournament, I just would like to clarify that there was a typing error in the prospectus. World ranking date for MNQ and world ranking date for seeding, it is not 8th of December as in a prospectus, but 17th of March. That is the day when BWF ranking was frozen, and that world ranking date and seeding was used for MNQ and seeding. Competition schedule, as it is in a prospectus, on Tuesday and Wednesday we will play the first round, 11 on 2 courts, Sunday semifinals on 1 court at 11, and Sunday finals at 12 also on 1 court. Competition schedule as per BWF regulation for all tour. Level 1. We will play on Tuesday top half of all 5 events, and on Wednesday the first round of all events at bottom half. This tournament will have 2 TV courts, and it will be live broadcast from the beginning of the tournament on both courts for 10 rounds. IRS is also on both courts from beginning of the tournament, so as streaming, and streaming is available on all 3 courts. Matches on TV courts 1 and 2 will be scheduled on a follow-by basis, and there is a difference with court 3, where the matches will be scheduled by start time. All matches will be allocated to each specific court. On court 3, matches may be called 10 minutes before scheduled start time. After live broadcast, or in change of any in the need of any change, then we still keep the right to change allocate court, of course, with informing you in advance. This is a stadium layout which shows 3 main courts and 2 warm-up courts. Assembly area has 2 functions: for players to get ready for the match and for marching on, and also for technical officials to check clothing. So please be on time in assembly area. That means 10 minutes before the start time of the match for court 3, or 10 minutes before the scheduled time, or when leading time in the deciding game reaches 11 points for courts 1 and 2. While players are in assembly area, mask is still mandatory. When players are ready to go on court while waiting to be announced, mask is not mandatory. If the player prefers to keep the mask on, it is of course allowed. It is up to a player's choice. As we mentioned, assembly area where the clothing is checked, we can say a few words about clothing regulation. There are no changes. I will just go briefly through it. It means that doubles partners should wear the same color and similar design throughout the match. Opposing sides should wear significantly different colors. In case of same color, the lower ranked player should change the clothing. Therefore, we kindly ask the players to bring with them to assembly point at least 2 sets of clothing of a significantly different color. Because of TV visibility, no green colored clothing is allowed on TV courts, and we are referring to a green color which is the same color as our mats. In case of any overlapping with the virtual logo, then we might ask the players to change the color of their t-shirt or shorts. a shirt is a standard. It means that the name is mandatory, country and advert is optional. We just would like to remind you about the name which on the back of the t-shirt, the last name, as it is in BWF database, is mandatory, and initial of the first name can also be on the back of the t-shirt. Advertising, not many changes. We put in yellow one change which is in force recently. In general, 5 adverts, 1 per location, with a limited size of 20 square centimeters or less. What is new in the clothing regulation on a shirt is that in case there is no advert on right or left sleeve because there is no sleeve, then advert is allowed on support or compression sleeve. It still keeps number of advert, 1 per location, but in that case it is not on a sleeve, but on support or compression sleeve. Band in front and in the back at any angle, and it was already introduced last year, not new, but just to remind you that 1 advert is allowed in the band. Regarding BWF mark, it also can appear on the t-shirt. Then if we talk about socks, it is still 2 adverts per leg. What is new? What is new is in fact 24331, which says that in case that there is no other article of clothing, then 1 advert is allowed on compression and support shorts. Okay, this is all new. This is all nothing new. I think that you are aware of this. Restrictions, no commercial brands, no registered marks or trademarks, and no tattoo stamping which has illegal, defamatory or commercial value message. Also, advertising of tobacco not allowed. Regarding additional advertising on a lower part of a dress or skirt or shorts, situation which was established at 6th of January showed us that there are 4 countries at the moment which applied for this additional advert. That is Japan, New Zealand, Netherlands, and Denmark. We will say a few words about walking on procedure. We already said that players should come to the assembly point at least 10 minutes before the scheduled match time, or when the result reaches 11 in the final game. When walking on court, the first match of each session will be followed by music, but not the subsequent matches. First, technical officials will walk on court, and then the players will be announced one by one. we already said that while queuing for marching on court, players are allowed to take their mask off, and walking on court, mask is not mandatory. Here is a layout. You can see an assembly point in yellow at the bottom left, and this purple arrow marks walking on court through the stage. From the very first match of the tournament, players will walk through the main stage, then next to the court 3 in front of the match control, and will take the first corner to enter the court. The same procedure is walking out. You can see in the top right corner mixed zone, which is behind the door, and players will be accompanied by technical officials. We said the technical officials will march on court first. Technical officials will be wearing masks. The exception is umpire when sitting in the chair after the toss. For coin toss, please remind your players to keep distance of approximately 2 meters from the umpire. The umpire will still wear a mask during the coin toss, but for the players it is not mandatory. In order to comply with COVID-19 protocol measures, we kindly ask the players, when changing sides at 11 or between games, then for one player or pair to go behind the chair, and the other pair to go in front of umpire's chair, in order to minimize contact between the players and to keep the distance. A few words about a new regulation. Shaking hands or hugging is not permitted between opponents, and not advised also between doubles. There are other ways to greet the technical officials and opponents, and I'm sure that your players already have established their way how to do that. Please make sure that there are no left items in player boxes when changing hands. After the match, please advise your players not to throw anything into the crowd. In fact, we have no crowd for a quarantine period, so it is not that applicable. We said that walking off court is with technical officials, but still keeping a physical distance while walking off of 1 meter. And a technical official will take players to the mid zone. After the door to a mixed zone, you may notice that on the left side is a mixed zone, and on the right side there is a corridor. The coaches after the match should take that corridor to leave the field of play, and for players it is mandatory to go to a mixed zone and to played with the Yonex AS50, we have 3 speeds available. What is new, what is different from a standard procedure is that we have shuttle dispensers. We have 2 on each side of the court, not 1. Having a shuttle dispenser does not change a standard procedure, which means that the player is not allowed to change the shuttle without the permission of umpire. After getting the permission, the player can collect the shuttle from the shuttle dispenser. When the shuttle is allowed to be changed, the used shuttle can be put by player to a shuttle box. There is one shuttle box on each side of the court, and it is on the floor beneath shuttle dispenser. The regulation of changing shuttle still is still same, no changes. It means that the referee's team will decide the speed of the shuttle, and the players are not allowed to take the shuttle, and it is the umpire's decision if the shuttle needs to be changed or not. As we have 2 TV courts, then preparation time on the TV court is a minimum of 2 minutes. And intervals on TV court are mandatory. On court 3, preparation time is standard, up to 2 minutes, and intervals are not mandatory. There are 6 line judges till quarterfinals, and it may be different for semifinals and finals. They are all qualified technical officials. Our point measures reflect also on a mapping on court. It means that during the play, during the game, players should be aware to keep physical distance from a line judge who will do the mopping or the buffer. And in the intervals, players should stand next by a player's boxes while mopping while the court is mopped. Overruling of line calls, no changes. I'm sure that your players will respect the decision of a line judge or umpire who oversees the line calls. We said that instant review system is available on courts 1 and 2. Just a reminder that maximum of 2 unsuccessful challenges per game is permitted, and all lines can be challenged. The challenge should be made immediately after the line call is made, and it should be clearly signaled to umpire to understand that there is a challenge. Toweling and drinking, not much to say, nothing new. That drinking is allowed only with the permission of umpire. And quick toweling is allowed if it is done quickly. There is no permission. On-court injuries is also the standard procedure. We will come on court together with a doctor, and if additional person potentially for translation purposes is required, then we may allow if it is necessary. Of course, the treatment on the court should not cause undue delay. In case of blood flowing injury, the game should be stopped and can be continued only after stopping the injury. Players' code of conduct, also no changes. These are the standard violations which may happen during the tournament, and of course we would like to minimize it. Regarding coaches, we said that one coach is allowed per player or pair. Coaches walk on court with a mask. While sitting in the chair, mask is not mandatory. During the intervals, mask is not mandatory when the coach goes on court. As soon as the match finishes, walk off court is with a mask, and we already defined the way how the coach can leave the field of play. In this slide also no changes. I'm sure that we will comply with that, so we can move on. Articles of clothing for coaches. A reminder that the same regulation which regulates advertising on shirts or coach's jacket or shorts which applies to a coach's pants, that it is valid and we will follow it. Media obligations are still on. We said that all players should go to a mixed zone and make them available for a media request, which is organized according to COVID protocols. And also just to mention other activities like players' appearance, and we would like to take for you to take that as a nice possibility for your player to get media exposure and to comply with the request. Prize presentation will be held after each event. The prizes are for winner and for runner-up, and of course winners should be present at the presentation. There is a regulation which regulates advertising and the equipment which is permitted or not permitted to be carried on the podium, and I'm sure that you are already aware of it. General advice for players to take all equipment they need on court. If anything is missing, we will gladly assist you. Reminder on a mobile phone that it is chargeable offense, and throwing sweat and the delay are our constant focus. A few words about anti-doping, which will be executed during the tournament. According to this code, you are already familiar with it. If we talk about our procedures on and off court, this is all what we wanted to share, what we plan to share with you. If you have any question regarding these procedures, this is the time to put a question. in comparing the one which was defined in a prospectus. We are in a constant communication with health authorities and there are changes which are positive for us. As it was shown on the slide, there is a dedicated area next on a stand next to a match control above court age. The teams are permitted to put their team cameras. If you remember that slide, if not, we can go back. I understand. Yeah, that is a problem. There is no technical possibility for organizer to provide a recording. So, yeah, if this is the only case, then I would propose to discuss that in a direct contact with you. Because I don't have an answer now. We have to think how to solve the problem. Yes, the presentation can be sent to the team managers. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, can we, maybe it is better to cover one by one. The last one was about coaches, so we can cover that immediately. We are aware that there are teams with a limited number of coaches, and the coaches should stay a whole day in the hall. That's the reason why we established that coaching sitting area to not only to allow but to help them to survive the day in the hall. So it is not applicable for coaches that they have to live together with the players after their match. A location for the physio, there are physio rooms in a practice hall. Practice hall is adjacent to a competition hall, and in fact there are no changes regarding location of physio. So there are officially provided physio by post, and also there are spots for a physio, for a team physio, where they can treat the players. Yes, there is a space provided for team physio in the practice hall. Yes, we are aware of this problem. There are there is more than one restriction we faced while preparing the schedule. I fully understand that from your perspective, it does not look fair for a team of one player to get one time slot and for you with 28 players to get 6 players on court. We are restricted with COVID-19 protocol, which says that there is no mixing up of teams unless they give a consent. We have a consent only for a few European countries who submitted consent, and we treat that countries as a group. So although we have a few countries having only one player, we have to comply with the COVID-19 protocol defined by health authorities. They have to have their separate transport and they have to have their separate time slot. You know, according to statistics, one team which should get 0.2 time slots, we can give them one time slot, and then it decreases your time on court. So there is not much we can do. If we talk about the stretching time, if you get stretching time, then it is again part of your 1 hour and 15 time slot. So we concluded that in fact there is no difference. If we put the stretching time of 15 minutes, that you get 1 hour time slot. So we decided not to divide the same time slot you already have. Okay, thank you. We will discuss that with organizer how to solve that problem, and we will come back to you. No. Yes. Yeah, I understand you would like to take a full time at the main courts. Yeah.
Video analysis and preparation for teams.
Sorry, can you say again? I didn't hear. Yeah. Paisan will respond.
Well, can I? Faizan. Yeah, we are in communication with the doctor, and now we have the third test negative, and I'm working on it, and we'll hopefully get a good, some good solution for you soon, possibly later on today. Yeah, she's here. She monitors. We're working together constantly. All right, what she's got to understand. Appreciate your concern. We understand your concern, and we'll get to you sometime later on today. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we agree with you. It will be quite complicated and demanding. At the moment, it is the request, and we cannot violate that. I have to admit that yes. Yes. Yeah, we cannot change it, but yes, that's why.
Good. Could I jump in a bit?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Yeah, we realize that the potential chaotic and problem, and we try to get some better solution. We're asking for more like a bus schedule type thing, and also with the COVID control doctors, and we're working on it. And we try to prevent the problem we're going to start on the 12th. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah.
Sorry. So we count on Paisan to organize it. Any other question? Yes, or if they are appropriately dressed. Okay, so if there are no more questions, we would like to move to withdrawals and promotions. As I understood, there are no ones we already received. Just a reminder that we can deal with the promotions which should arise before publishing of the schedule for the first day. And reserves which can be promoted are only the ones who are already in the bubble. It means that the ones which arrive on till 4th of January, informed, tested, and being negative. So unfortunately, it means that quite a few of players which are on MNQ could not be accepted for promotion. Anyhow, to be sure that we have the correct reserves to be promoted, we would like to go through reserve list quickly with the teams which have a potential players, just to confirm their availability. So regarding withdrawals in the men's singles, we have 5 withdrawals. It is seed number 1, Momota, then position 4 in the main draw. Lakshya Sen from India, position 8, Tsunayama from Japan, 16 Nishimoto from Japan, and 22 Watanabe from Japan. If we go to MNQ list, then we have reserve 1, Hans Christian Solberg Vidikus from Denmark, who already accepted a promotion, and reserve 2, Supanyu Avesingsalong from Thailand. Then we have Subankar Dev from India. So I would like to ask team manager from India just to confirm that Dev is not available to play. Thank you. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. No, no. This is the requirement for both tournaments as it is stated in prospectus. It is, the reason is 14-day quarantine period. You're welcome. Then we have Israel, who is definitely not here, and Canadian player Joshua already is confirmed. Pablo Avian contacted us directly, so there is no need to get confirmation from Spanish coach, I think so. And then we have Canadian Brian Young, who is, we have, Canadian Brian Young and Shun Xiaodong, who are also not here. A French coach, they confirmed that Thomas Ruxel, Paul are not here. Then we have, in fact, the whole team of India who is not here. Ajay Jayaram, then the player for Ireland is also not here. Russians, Siran and Malkov are not here. Malaysia, please could you confirm for Chen Chun Wei, Malaysia coach. Okay. No answer, but we got the player is not here, so we can take it as not being able to be promoted. Then Canadian Sanket also not here. Indian players are not here. US player Timothy Lam is not here. Hungarian is not here. Howard Shu is not here. Nigerians, they could not get to Thailand. Then Arnaud Metley is not here. And then we have, in fact, on reserve 17, Luis Enrique Peñalba from Spain. Spanish coach already confirmed availability. And it brings us also to reserve 26, Abhinav Malhotra from New Zealand, who also is here and accepted a promotion. Therefore, we have reserves 1, 2, 5, 17 and 26 available for promotion, and we have spots 1, 4, 8, 16 and 22 which should be filled. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So white is clear, green is position. So can we? Number 2, player number 2. Position number 1.
Okay, so reserve 2, position 1.
Player number 5. What's the name? Player number 5. Hoshu from Canada, yeah?
Yes.
And for position number 16. Player number 26, and that is from New Zealand, yeah? Position number 22. Player number 17 from Spain. Position number 8. And last one, player number 1. Mitimus goes to position number 4.
No.
Women singles.
Yeah. Okay, so we said that we have reserve 2 goes on position 1, reserve 5, position 16, reserve 26, position 22, reserve 17, position 8, and reserve 1, position 4.
Okay. Women's singles.
Then women's singles, we have 6 withdrawals. We have Nichon Jindapol from Thailand, Nozomi Okahara, position number 9 in the main draw from Japan. Position 17, Tuzar Petar from Myanmar. Position 18, Sayaka Takahashi, Japan. Position 22, Aya Ohori, Japan. And 32, Akana Yamaguchi, Japan. We have available 6 reserves. Reserve 1, Natalia Perminova not available, Linda Tachiri not available, Jordan Hart not available, Nigerian player not available, and then we have Reserve 5, Salvador Kisona from Malaysia, Indian player not available. Then we have 2 Egyptian players who are in women's doubles, Hadia Hosni and Doha Hani, reserve 7 and 8. Czech player is not available. Then we have reserve 10, Benyapa Ainsari from Thailand. French player not available. Gojin Wei, Malaysia not available. Indian player Rutika Gade not available. Thai player Opatniput not available. And then we have 2 Thai players. Nacha Nampon Rumpi Bon Sopit and Sirada from Thailand, they are available. So we have 2.
Okay, so we will do player first. Player number 8 and then Honey from Egypt goes into position 18. Player number 8 goes position 18. Player 16. They are sisters, I think. Which sisters? Sirada is goes into position 17. Player 15 is the other sister from Thailand. Goes into position 32. Player 10 from Thailand.
Renyapa Ainsari.
Position 2. Player number 5, Kisona, Malaysia, goes into position 9. Player 7
goes to position 22.
22.
Okay, just to recap, reserve 8, position 18, reserve 16, position 17, reserve 15, position 32, reserve 10, position 2, reserve 5, position 9, reserve 7, position 22. Then, the next one, men's doubles. We received 6 withdrawals. We have available reserves. The first who withdrew was Indonesia, our first seed, Sukamulyo Gideon. Then Sonoda Kamura, Japan, Okayori Olofua, Nigeria, Koga Saito, Japan, Endo Watanabe, Japan, and Koki Kobayashi, Japan. The first reserve number 1, Leo Rolly Hernando and Daniel Martin from Indonesia accepted the promotion. Then reserve 2, Daniel Hess, John Strauch Janssen, Germany, accepted promotion. The reserve 3 from Malaysia, they could not accept promotion. Also reserve 4, Popo brothers from France, they are not here. And we have also England, Indonesia, and they could not accept promotion. So as Thai double reserve A, which brings us to 3 next doubles. That is Thailand reserve 9, Super Jongkok and Kiki Nupong Kedren, reserve 10, Wong Sakorn Kong Kam and Virapat Pakjarung, and reserve 11, Niklas Moore and Matthias Christiansen. Then we have Singapore double Krishnanta and Quack, who could not accept promotion, and French double Delarue and Villager. The last reserve on the list, reserve 14, Nachanon Tumanok and Abduluk Gaterahon from Thailand are available. So we have 6 reserves to be promoted.
Position 11, player 11 from Denmark. Position 1. Player 11, position 1.
That is Niklas Moore and Matthias Christiansen.
Pair number 9.
Thailand, Supak Jongkok and Kiki Nupong Kedren.
Position 17. Pair number 10.
10 is Thai double Wong Sakorn Kongkam and Virapat Pakajung.
Position 26. Pair 10, position 26. Pair number 1.
Indonesia. It is Fernando Martin.
Position 16. Pair number 1, position 16. Pair number 2.
Germany. Hess and Janssen.
From Germany. Position 6. Pair number 2, position 6. And pair number 14, position 24.
Tulamok Gaterafel from Thailand.
You can.
14 is 4. 14 is 4.
20.
24.
It's 9, yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Can you recap? So just recap.
Okay, men's doubles, reserve 11, position 1. Reserve 9, position 17. Reserve 10, position 26. Reserve 1, position 16. Reserve 2, position 9. And reserve 14, position 24. Thank you. We can move to women's doubles, where it is straightforward because we have no reserves available. We have 3 withdrawals in the main draw. It is position 1, Fukushima Hirota, Japan, position 13, Shida Matsuyama, Japan, and position 32, Nagahara Matsumoto, Japan. Then we have the last event, which is mixed doubles. We received 3 withdrawals. Position 7, Hoki Nagahara, Japan. Position 15, Adcock, England. And position 24, Watanabe, Higashino, Japan. In mixed doubles, we have confirmed promotions of Reserve 1, Oliver Leighton Davis and Anona Park from New Zealand. Reserve 4, Daniel Hess, Linda Effler, Germany. And Reserve 5, Eloy Adam and Margot Lambert, France.
Pair number 5,
France.
from France. Position 7. Pair 5, position 7. Pair number 4, Germany. Position 24. And pair number 1,
New Zealand.
from New Zealand, go to position 15.
Okay, so we said that in mixed doubles, reserve 5, position 7, reserve 4, position 24, and reserve 1, position 15. Okay, that concludes our section of promotions. We would like to thank you for your patience. It was exceptionally long team managers meeting, and the first which was done via Zoom. We would like to thank you for your cooperation and thank you for your support in complying with the measures. We do hope so that during time the measures might be relaxed a little bit to enable us to get back to our more normal procedures. And we wish you a successful tournament. Final question. The reason why the team managers meeting was moved from 11 to 10 was also a request of local health authorities to get sufficient time to prepare transportation and their activities. So definitely order of play will be issued today.
last word, please.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great tournament. Thank you.
Thank you. Drop everybody off the court.
Right.
Well done.
Well done, guys. Let's get a picture with his team. Next. Take a picture together with the team, maybe right here. Hey.